Hey guys, this is Jacques from MakuluLinux. I'm just doing a quick follow-up video. This video won't be that long. The previous video I released was actually built on, or the video was made on beta 13. There's been two betas since then, and that video was actually quite old. Or it was an old build. Um, I wasn't actually going to release a lot of the new footage for public. I kind of wanted to keep a lot of it secret and then just sort of blow people away. But there have been some changes that I think probably would be prudent to show off. Thus, I'm making this new video before release. Release date, I would estimate, is a couple of days now. Um, Probably maybe Monday, Tuesday next week. Could be earlier, could be a day or two later, but the way it's running now, so stable, so smooth. Yeah, I don't see a reason for delaying any further than I've already delayed, which is much longer than I should have delayed. Um, but I wanted this Xfce to really shine. I didn't want to make mistakes that I made in the past. I wanted it to run really stable, not just be pretty, but be stable. And I wanted that little bit of a wow factor, which is why I included the Chrome apps, because I really think that a lot of the problems with Linux is, having the ability to click something and have it instantly at your fingertips, the way Mac and Windows does. You don't have to go and through a million hoops to open something like Facebook or Gmail or whatever the case might be. But in Linux, everything's always like 6 clicks away, 5 clicks away, 7 clicks away. And that's always something that just sort of annoyed me. Anyway, so thank God for the Chrome apps that integrated into Linux really does change everything. Also, I've done away with the Cairo dock bar, the Cairo dock bar at the top. You saw that in beta 13. Instead, I was never a big fan of dock bars. I don't like them sitting there, even if I can fade them or whatever. They're still there and it still annoys me. I like a clear desktop. Although I must admit, I do like the home and the file system and the trash icons on the desktop, top left corner. Because if I want to clean a trash, I don't want to, click, click, click to do it. It must be there. If I want to open a home folder, it must be there. But apart from that, I like a very clean desktop. I like the big clock in the middle top so I can see, or top right so I can see the time easily. I love the quotes, something to read every day or a couple of times a day. And I like my icons in the bottom left for quick access, my favorites. I like my system icons on the bottom right. I like the dual menus. So it's a very comfortable layout. The traditional layout for me is very comfortable. It's like having a winning formula. Why mess with it? You know what I mean? So the top bar for me just kind of it invaded that space, and I really don't like that. So I kind of I spent some time looking at how I can do away with it. How can I put it out of the way so that it doesn't invade that space of mine? And so instead of the dock bar, I've come up with the just putting a second panel in. Second panel, now the problem with the second panel is obviously that you can't position icons the way you want them. And so I had to spend a lot of time tweaking and just going crazy making the second panel work the way I wanted to. Um, but basically, I've kept the Chrome apps there, but on a pop-up second panel. So it's part of Xfce. So don't need any extra third-party apps to run, which saves resources, saves extra items starting up, and you don't have to click to enable or disable a panel or whatever. It's out of the way. You don't see it. The only time you see it is when you move your mouse up and you want to see it. Okay, so there it is. It's very simple, very basic, very neat, completely transparent. Okay, so it doesn't invade your space at all. I've made it slightly bigger than the bottom panel so that the icons are really nice and clear and visible. Um, So when you're using your normal Linux, you won't even notice it. It's not there. If you click something, you see, you can carry on working like you normally would. Uh, it doesn't bother you. It is out of the way. It's also not invading your usual space that you use here. But the moment you need it, you can just move your mouse up to the top of the screen and then just click on a quick app here to open it up. Okay, and the pop-up works even if even if a window is open. Those icons still pop up if you move your mouse up to the top of the screen. Okay, they centered, nicely centered in the middle. You can add additional icons if you want. I mean, you can add anything into this list here if you want. You can remove as well. It's so easy. You just right-click, either move it, remove it, panel, add new items. The same way you much the same way you handle a normal Xfce panel. Okay. Um, so I thought this just looks more neater, feels more comfortable, and it doesn't invade my space. Okay, so I've got my normal desktop, the way I like it, the way I always set it up, and then if I need those icons, I just move up. If I need those apps, I just move my mouse to the top, and there they are. Okay. Now this is a live edition or live environment. I haven't installed. This is on VirtualBox in a live environment, so I'm just showing this off as the users will see it right when they first boot up. In fact, I'm going to set the wallpaper to change. Let's go change it every 1 minute. Every 1 minute we'll change the wallpaper just so users can get to maybe see a couple of the backgrounds that come with the edition. Anyway, so yeah, so that's the panel. The other thing that you'll probably see is that for the final release, I'm going to enable the default icon set, the birth icon set that Makulu normally uses. But don't stress, I know a couple of you really like the new icon set. As you can see, some of the new icon set I've left enabled. I've left some of these really pretty icons enabled. So it's kind of the default one is kind of a mixture between the Milky and the buff icon set, which makes it really pretty. Uh, and you can always go to appearance and you can always change the icons there to Milky Makulu. Okay, so I've left them in there, they are there, really easy to change. So if you prefer the Milky Makulu, just 1 or 2 clicks and you've got it. Okay, so you don't need to stress that I've taken them out and I've gone to an icon set that you don't like. There's another wallpaper, very, very pretty. The guys that like the default one, you've got them. The guys that prefer the Milky Makulu, you can just go to appearance, icons, and just change it there quite easily with a single click. And then you've got the Milky Makulu icon set, okay? So very easy, very quick, very nice. You'll also notice the clock is slightly different than before. The reason for that is that, for the longest time, Variety, I was actually hoping they would fix this by now, but Variety causes issues with Xfce. Only with Xfce. It doesn't happen with or do it with the other desktop environments. But with Xfce you get this flicker every now and then when the clock updates the time or seconds or whatever the case might be. You sort of get this little background flicker if the clock is enabled inside Variety. So what I've done is Variety controls the quotes and the wallpaper, but not the clock anymore. The clock, I just used a similar conky looking clock, very similar to the one in Variety, except of course being conky it gives the hard drive space, the RAM usage, CPU usage, and then of course the date, calendar, slash time, much the same way Variety does. Okay, so you've still got your clock there without the occasional flicker on the screen. Of course, the trade-off with that is when the wallpaper changes for about a second, it takes the clock like a second or two to sort of update its background. I mean, that's not a big deal anyway. And there's nothing you can do about that. That's just part of Conky. Conky works like that. Um, Anyway, it's running really well at the moment. It looks stunning, 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 especially with this 3D cursor that spins there. As you can see, it updates with this 3D cursor that spins like this, with a shadow in the background, and it's not just a single white color. It's like a white, silver, gold. If you look at the mouse closely, you'll see it really does look 3D. So that's really nice. And even when you have to select something, you've got this little finger that sort of taps the screen where you want to select. So kudos to the developer for that. It's really, really a stunning mouse pointer. And as I pointed out before, it comes in two flavors. Where's mouse and touchpad? It comes in two flavors. It comes in silver 3D, which is the one we've got enabled by default, and then you've got the gold one as well, the gold/black. It's got almost like a black look to it when it turns. There's a blue glass one, but the blue glass one doesn't spin. It's just plain, just 2D kind of blue glass. So guys that don't like the spinning effects, you can just use the 2D one. The guys that like the 3D effects, you've got an option of gold and silver, so that's nice. So anyway, I'm going to run through some of these wallpapers. Let's just set them. Let's just go and wallpaper selector. There's a couple of really stunning wallpapers that come with the distribution. Some really, really pretty ones that really make the distro stand out. I've tried to spend a lot of time not just on the stability, but I always try and spend a lot of time on polishing, making everything look nice, making the user sort of feel proud about the desktop, that he's working on, so that if your mate walks into a room, he can go, "Wow, what are you running there?" And you can say, "Well, it's the latest version of Makulu," you know. Um, I mean, I think a lot of guys that do develop, they may do a good job on making their distros run stable and fast and use low memory and whatever else, but I don't think they spend enough time on polishing, making it pretty, or I don't know if they lack the skills or if they're just lazy, or but I quite enjoy that part of developing, which is usually the last bit after everything else. I quite enjoy, spending like the last month of development or so just on all just the polishing part. Just finding the right blend of wallpapers, finding the right mouse cursors, finding the right icons, start working on transparencies and things. Just that really excites me too, because I don't even know what the end result will be when I start that. I mean, when you go from a standard desktop and you start just experimenting with everything, you literally have no clue. You have an idea of what you want to do, but you don't know the end result. So, and it's a constant battle. I mean, to get the borders and the panels to look and feel exactly right and blend in with the theme and get the wallpapers to feel like they fit into the distro, and getting all the coloring right and getting everything. It's not just click and done. It takes a lot more than that. So I'm really happy with the end result. I'm happy with the blending of everything. Just fits, it just flows. That's the word I was looking for the whole time. It flows. You've got the nice transparency in the menu, not too much, just enough. You right click something, you've got the same effect on your pop-up menus. As you can see right through the back of them. Not too much transparency, just enough. Just enough to see through it, and just enough to still see the text nice and clearly. The theme is brilliant. I mean, the text is nicely visible, so no problems there. The icon sets, both icon sets, the buff is my favorite by far. It's always been my favorite for a long time, and it will be forever for long more time. But I also really do like the Milky Makulu. It's also a very pretty icon set. So yeah, the styling, getting the going with the thick borders instead of the usual thin, skinny little borders. The thick borders really give that feeling that the window's being filled up with something. I really like that, especially the people that have trouble seeing, or the older crowd. They will really like this as well. The big buttons, the thick border. Um, the ability to pull the window into itself. So yeah, some really nice additions to the distro. These little things that people don't always seem to notice at first, and a lot of the reviewers don't cover any of this stuff, you know. They go straight to what browser is in here, what's the software selection is in here, does everything work, can the drivers installed, that I have to set up Wi-Fi, blah blah blah. They go to the icon set, the mouse cursor, and then poof, that's it, and then they move on to the next distro, you know. So I'm still waiting for the reviewer that will actually sit and just actually notice everything that actually gets done on a distro. You know, even blending the terminal backgrounds. You know, you've got your standard terminal and then you've got your root terminal. I mean, the one is sort of a grey, it matches the theme, the grey theme, and then you've got this one that's sort of an orangey brown. And the reason for the two different colors is the fact that the root terminal warns you that you are in root, that whatever changes you make now is permanent and most likely can't be undone, so be careful, you know. Where here, if you do something, it must still ask you a password, that, and people use that extra step as a safety net, where they can still say yes or no, enter password or close the terminal, or, you know, yeah, you type a command, it's done. It doesn't ask you for a password, it just does it, you know. So it's always good to have a different color here, you know, that extra step to security, so against yourself, so you don't screw up your own system, you know. That's nice. And then, of course, the other big thing that I notice a lot of distros do not come with, and that is the where can we see the virus scanner, built-in virus scanner. A lot of distros do not come with it. Built-in virus scanner, as well as a built-in firewall built-in, both enabled by default. You know, so your system is really safe, really secure, and you don't have to worry about that, you know. So that's something that I see a lot of people don't enable, and a lot of reviewers do not cover that. They do not even point that out. So some really important, vital things that, you know, I'm just saying this because, like, I don't want to point out any flaws that reviewers make. I mean, they all have their styles and ways of reviewing a product. But I just thought I'd just mention a couple of that. Anyway, so this is the latest Xfce. It's really polished. It runs well. It's fast. It's speedy. I know the memory usage here is like 480, but I've been opening up a lot of stuff even before I started the video. On boot up, it uses somewhere around 350 megs of RAM, I think. Not in live environment, because everything's enabled in live environment, so it uses more. Once installed, you'll notice your memory usage come down to about 350 roughly. That's on boot up. Obviously, if you start opening up a whole bunch of stuff, the usage climbs. But the usage is not extreme. It's not the lowest I've seen. It's also not the highest. It's somewhere nicely in the middle. It is a 64-bit edition, so the usage will be higher. The 32-bit will be considerably lower. The 32-bit release won't be on the same day as the 64-bit. I still have some work to do on the 32-bit. It'll probably be a week later or so, a couple of days or a week later, but it is on its way. Do not worry. Most of this will be in the 32-bit, as well as the 32-bit has compass enabled, where the 64-bit does not. But I tell you, this runs so well. It really does. If you want to see how these apps work, I don't think I should really go into it right now. But, or actually I can. Let's just try one of them. I really don't like running these inside VirtualBox because it doesn't really have OpenGL support, so you get a lot of... but let's go log into something like... where am I now? Is this WhatsApp, eh? I'm going to go into WhatsApp and just show off WhatsApp. No, is this WhatsApp or is this... oh, I opened both. Okay, let's go into WeChat. Let's just see how WeChat works. Okay, I'm already logged into web, so let's just sign out there. Okay, I'm just going to log in here on WeChat, so you can literally see this in action. You know, once you've, apart from WeChat and stuff, once you've logged into like Facebook or whatever the case might be, there we go. Now I'm in WeChat. There's South Africans in Asia. Yeah, just people I've been chatting to. You can just carry on with the conversation, you know, just type anything. I don't know what to type now or to who. we go. I'm chatting on WeChat with no issues, and I've got full support to upload files if I want to. I can add emicons if I want to. I could even add pictures and videos and stuff. So, and when I'm not using it, I can just pull it up into its own panel there, into its own bar there, move it out of the way, minimize it actually completely, carry on with my normal work, blah 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 blah. And when I want to, I can just come back and just chat on. It's got its own app window. I don't have to open a browser, and then when I want to close the browser, I end up closing the chat. So it's really nice. These little apps are really nice. They have their own windows. And somebody asked me to add Telegram. You're really lucky that I added into the latest beta. And the only reason it's really there is because I actually made a mistake in the latest beta, and I had to end up rebuilding it. You know, I had to rebuild it and start uploading to the testers because of the error I made, and because of the rebuild, it gave me a chance to actually add it in quickly. So Telegram is also in there, as you can see if I click on the box and it opens up, and there we go. You can sign into Telegram straight inside Linux in its own window. The same goes for Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, WeChat, Telegram, Skype, Google Hangouts, Twitter, Instagram, quick access to Gmail, Google Maps, Google Drive. Okay, and you can add more Chrome apps too if you really want to. I mean, I don't guarantee that they will all work. I mean, that's another question. The ones that I've tested work, and those are the ones up there, and they're mostly social apps. So a lot of people use these social apps, and so these are the ones that I've integrated to all the popular social, apps, social media, whatever. Anyway, so the distro is running amazing. It's looking amazing. It's fast. It's stable. Yeah. So I think you guys will really love this, and yeah, you should look out for this release. It's coming in the next few days. Yeah, I think this is going to be a good one. So I guess I'll chat to you guys soon. Cheers.